Good evening, everyone. So let us have a interactive panel discussion in which we are just going to share some thoughts about pregnancy after midlife. So now we know that this is the era of ART, and in ART era we are seeing more and more of advanced maternal age. So we have a very interesting term called VAMA, VAMA. Have you heard of VAMA? What is it?
Very advanced maternal age.
Yes. So very advanced maternal age has got a cutoff. What is the cutoff?
More than 45 years.
More than 45. And otherwise in obstetrics advanced maternal age we call more than 35. But in 35 to 45 we have got advanced, and above 45 it becomes very advanced maternal age. So in your practice, what is the percentage of patients coming to you with pregnancy who are above the age of 35? Yes ma'am, please. Okay. So what is the percentage of patients above the age of 35 who are pregnant and who are coming to you in your OPD? Okay, just give me your inputs please.
Nowadays, because of the late marriages and career orientation, and all are like their childbearing age has increased, like it is coming to be more than 35 and sometimes more 40 also. So it is almost a good number of patients are coming to OP.
Can you have a percentage please?
I think more than 20%, 30%, 20 to 30%.
Yeah. So any other figure? Vijayalakshmi Verma ma'am?
More than 35. One third of the
One third of the patients are, yeah. So I was also thinking on the same line that almost one third of the patients nowadays are coming above the age of 35 who are pregnant, and you have almost stopped seeing the very young pregnancies, except in, I can say in certain communities I see young, pregnant patients who are coming at the age of 20, 21, 22. So my daughter just started a residency in OBGYN, and she told me that yesterday, this is her second week of residency, so she's very excited. She told me, Mama, yesterday I saw a G9P3. I said, you're going to get more shockers. You know what, Mama? At the age of 27, she has delivered 3 children and 6 abortions, and she's pregnant and she's bleeding. So she was finding it hard to believe, because she has seen me basically struggling with couples who don't have babies. And here she's thrown into a government hospital where she's getting regularly patients getting pregnant every 6 months, literally. So that is another end of the spectrum. But what do you think is the reason? Why are we getting so many patients with advanced maternal? Is there a geographical difference? Is there an educational difference? Is there a socio-economic strata? Difference in thinking, difference in community, difference in religion? What do you think? Let us be open about it.
I think because girls are now studying, they are marrying at an advanced age, and they are financially well supported themselves, and they want to marry very late, and they want to produce a child after achieving everything. मेरे पास अच्छा नौकरी होगा, promotion होगा, I'll have a flat, I'll have a car, and then I'll produce a child. And secondly, nowadays there is social instability also. Once they marry, they are not sure whether they will be continuing with the relationship or not. And we see so many diverse couples जो 40 के बाद आते हैं कि अभी बच्चा चाहिए, and when we ask them कि why after 40, तो they are telling कि ये second marriage किया है, दोनों की first marriage टूट गई. ये भी एक reason है आजकल why we are saying.
Yeah, so true, madam. That is the reality situation now. Either they just have one child and the child is 15 years of age. Many times they lose the child because of something else going on, accidents or suicides. And then second marriage, then definitely ART. And again there is a rise in if they have a female, they now want to have a male because they think that ART is making things easy for them.
Yes. Society is based on demand and supply. Demand आते ही supply हो जाती है. तो इधर से demand आ गई, 40 साल के ऊपर हो गए, बच्चा चाहिए. और उधर हमने supply कर दिया. हमने donor and IVF और ART सब शुरू कर दिया. तो we have supplied to the society what the society demands. That is the actual scenario.
अब हो गया है कि मेल
Hello.
पहले बीच में कोई बोलता
Yes, बीच में कम था. अब फिर से rising trends दिख रहे हैं.
एक मेल है तो दूसरा मेल चाइल्ड चाहिए.
या एक 15 साल बड़ा भी है तो भी अब हमने सोचा है, और अभी रिसेंटली आई हैड अ कपल 6 महीने पहले अबॉर्ट कर लिया नेचुरली 40 years के अब एज में कंसीव किया, अबॉर्ट हो गया, अब मैडम हमको एक चाहिए प्लीज IVF के लिए एनरोल कर लो. So it is becoming a everyday scene now.
Just last week, if I could just add, I delivered 2 patients, both were above 43, both were Gravida 7, Gravida 8, even in this generation, I mean, people are doing this. Both of them, they had comorbidities like hypertension and also they were both, high risk.
So they are making you more tense than they are. They just take it ki theek hai.
And you all are very right. There's a particular set of patients where they had the first baby before the woman was 30 or something, but then they forgot about it because they had the concept of one child family. Now they want a second for the first child, and that happens when she's already 37, 38. So by the time she walks into Abha Madam's clinic or Vijay Ma'am's clinic, she has an AMH which is almost like dwindling towards the zero figure. 0.5, 0.6, 0.3 AMH has become so.
And they think that they are perimenopause, they are coming for their menstrual irregularities. And seriously बोलेंगे, मैडम थोड़ा बच्चा प्लान करने का भी सोचा.
Exactly. So true.
Blindly सोचा और बाद में नहीं सोचा.
और फिर आपको अपना मुंह बंद रखना पड़ता है. आप पूछ भी नहीं सकते कि अरे बहुत देर से जगे हो या क्या हो गया. Like even you are scared that where are you going to head if you ask them that what is the reason. क्यों चाहिए दूसरा बच्चा? हाँ, exactly.
So now let us move to the next point. Madam, have you seen any spontaneous conception above the age of 45 in your careers? Yes.
46 years lady मैंने 43 दिन पहले उसका MTP किया, she didn't want it.
No, have you had any patient, madam, where the patient conceived after 45? The first pregnancy, the first and continued till term.
Not
43 तक तो अभी डिलीवर करें. 42, 43.
So this means they have children before. See, a patient can conceive at 45, 46 when she already has children before. I'm talking about primary infertility with a spontaneous conception at 45. That is very, very rare. That is almost non-existent. And the second thing is donor eggs. With the ART law nowadays, getting oocyte donors is very tough. ART banks are also struggling. You getting a cross-state donors is also, very difficult. So by the time you give a budget to the patient for IVF with donor eggs, you already have crossed the upper limit of their budget and their, financial reach. So
But
this
I
is
guess still 50% continue and go ahead with the treatment. 50% they do drop out when you talk to them about finances, but there are few who progress.
yes.
What
yes.
about declining AMH?
Madam, declining AMH has got so many
Early
reasons.
age.
Though it is an infertility, this is a fertility topic. This is not related to pregnancy at midlife. But since we want to discuss this, yesterday only I was talking to someone who said, "Ki Monica, you have become golmatol." I said, "Yes, I've become golmatol because post menopause, I just couldn't control my sugar craving. I was traveling like mad and I was eating whatever was coming." So they said, then we started talking about BMI and AMH. So I have seen in my practice, madam, that these girls who are very much lean and thin and very fragile looking, at the age of 30, 31, they will have a very low AMH. I think your body fat also gives you a little bit of estrogen, and that estrogen keeps not only your bones and your skin and endometrium healthy, but it also can contribute to a later menopause. It can give more folliculogenesis in the ovary for a longer time. And I think the leaner, there should be a study, seriously Priya, there should be a study like maybe across multi-centric in next ISAR or something where they, study the BMI vis-a-vis the AMH. And that will have multiple stratifications. It will be age and AMH, it will be BMI and AMH, it will be diet, veg, non-veg. Then I was talking to a professor in Ahmedabad. He said the AMH, comparative age and everything in women belonging to Middle East countries and Caucasian countries and first world countries, because of the non-vegetarian diet, the AMH is slower to fall as compared to India and other Southeast Asian countries who are consuming less of protein. we are having earlier osteoporosis, we are having earlier falling AMH, and it is a proven study, a big study in Spain, which says that in Indian women, an Indian woman equal to 38 years in India corresponds to a Spanish woman of 45. We have that much of a difference. So that is, I
The
think,
effect of COVID, so inflammation to the ovaries leading to.
मैडम पता नहीं कोविड का तो बहुत ही I don't
Ma'am,
know.
so shall we take the second, the next question? So,
I think the
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
There's so much of other bio-disruptors.
the pollution and change epigenetics actually, which is what we
Stress, I don't think, because I had an adolescent, not adolescent, I had a 27-year-old girl or 26-year-old girl who came to me late in the OPD. I was just, going out, and she just said that I'm coming with, madam, acute lower abdominal pain, you have to see me. I thought maybe some emergency, I can refer her to the right time. And she turned out to be not torsion, but she had basically, I think, a ruptured corpus luteum hematoma or something like that. And in my clinic only, gradually the pain subsided, she became okay, and I called her for a follow-up. Because I was finding the second ovary very hypofollicular. Like something like an elongated shrunken ovary, I was feeling very weird looking at it. So I called her for the routine test. I did her AMH also, and her AMH was 0.2 at the age of 27. So mother and daughter, both of them were, how do I explain that this patient is coming to me for lower abdominal pain, and now I've started counseling about fertility. So I took a back seat. I said, doesn't matter, let us see, but if you find a right guy and you get married, please do it. I mean, don't delay or postpone your marriage and childbearing. That is the only hint I gave. I didn't want to depress her or stress her out.
So I think I'll move to the another question. So-
So repeat again image. Is it okay with the one? Just it's out of the.
If the
AMH
AC
is
less,
repeated,
AMH is less.
AMH can be repeated if you want, yearly or 2 yearsly.
because the machine calibration is very different at
Yes,
all
ma'am.
that. So I think once it should be repeated if it is very.
You can repeat
Yeah,
it.
for young age particularly.
I try to repeat at least once the patient is above 30 with a low AMH, I repeat it every year.
Calibration is-
Yes.
So madam, I think I'll
Let's
ask
go back
Dr.
to the-
Swati, what are the major maternal complications in midlife pregnancy?
Early session. Early session.
यहाँ से start करें और फिर मैम you being the senior most, आप सबसे dreaded complication बताइए. That's why.
First trimester actually whenever you
They are both maternal and fetal complications associated with the advanced stage pregnancies. First trimester mostly it is miscarriage, ectopic pregnancy, it is multiple pregnancies, and maternal risk would be increased tendencies for preeclampsia, GDF, thromboembolism. All these complications are very commonly related to both mother and fetus.
So yes, rightly said. Now I want to have input from Abha madam and Vijayalakshmi madam. Madam, if you have a patient, elderly, IVF, with placenta previa, and you need to terminate that patient probably at 32 weeks, what are the major salient features you would like to take into account before planning her delivery?
First, complete medical examination of the patient, and we'll get her ultrasound done to see the evidences of placenta accreta or accreta placenta.
What is the indication of this case?
No, suppose if there is no liker, color Doppler changes are there, and she's a ART patient, elderly, and termination at 32 weeks.
We need to terminate because of FDR.
Yeah, there are a number of reasons for which you have to terminate her.
And she is placenta previa.
Yes, placenta previa.
Okay, we'll do a transcription section for the arrangement for the baby to be sent to the night sleep because the baby is only 32 weeks. But I will be making arrangement here and pregnant or coverage and medication substitution. Okay. I'll be doing full medical checkup for the patient because she's elderly, so that to rule out any medical problem. Plus, I'll be controlling her blood pressure if she's hypertensive or diabetic. All these factors are to be looked for. And for the baby, I'll be giving Betnesol for lung maturity and magnesium sulfate for 24 hours to give neuroprotection to this child. And I'll make arrangement for an ICU. I'll make arrangement for the blood, and then I'll take her up for an elective cesarean section with the whole team ready, a good anesthetist and a good pediatric team for the baby to be shifted if required. Most probably this baby will need to be shifted because the baby is only 32 weeks. And I'll be ready for any type of complication. I'll consult the patient that you might need blood transfusion or you might need surgery for control of PPH. I'll be ready for PPH, or you might even need a hysterectomy so that pre-counseling is done. Normally I tell my patient कि ये सब होएगा और मैं OT के बाहर नहीं आऊँगी. मेरा जो डॉक्टर बैठा हुआ है बाहर वो तुमको ये कंसेंट देगा पहले फॉर सीजेरियन, उसके बाद वो पीपीएच के लिए कंसेंट लेगा कि पीपीएच कंट्रोल करने के लिए वी हैव यूज्ड ऑल द मेडिसिन एंड नाउ वी डू स्टेप बाय स्टेप डिवास्कुलराइजेशन सर्जरीज एंड मैकेनिकल मेथड्स टू कंट्रोल द पीपीएच. इफ नॉट कंट्रोल देन माय डॉक्टर विल टेल यू कि अभी कुछ भी कंट्रोल नहीं हुआ, शी विल नीड अ हिस्टेरेक्टमी. सो आई विल नॉट कम आउट ऑफ द ओटी. आपको इसके बाद एक के बाद एक साइन करते जाना होगा बिकॉज इफ आई विल कम आउट ऑफ द ओटी आई विल बी वेस्टिंग टाइम. But normally, whenever I have to proceed for a hysterectomy in such cases, I will come and talk to the patient. Though I tell them कि मैं नहीं आ पाऊँगी, but still I will come because taking hysterectomy, taking a patient for hysterectomy is a very drastic step. We have to talk to the patient personally. So we should be ready. Till then, we might need to remove the uterus of the patient, and even after that, we might need to shift the patient to an ICU. That is very, very important. Don't think कि hysterectomy हो गया and everything is under control. Recently, we opened the patient 3 times. 2 मिनट ले लूँ?
बिल्कुल मैडम.
We had a हालांकि this patient was not an elderly patient. She was not a BAMA. She was only 29 years with placenta previa. We did a cesarean for her in the night, and after that she had a PPH. Attendants were not waiting for anything else. They said कि आप hysterectomy कर दो. We did a hysterectomy and we already had PRBC ready for the patient. We transfused 2-3 PRBC and FFBs also. Patient actually had a lot of PPH and not controlled with anything, so attendants gave consent for hysterectomy. We did a hysterectomy, and I called a renowned oncosurgeon with whom I did a hysterectomy. He was Dr. Ravi Gupta, and we did a hysterectomy, and we were out of the OT at about 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay. For 2 days, this patient was recovering very well, and the 3rd day, we could see fresh blood from her abdominal drain. We again shifted the patient to an ICU, and there we reopened this patient. And she had actually gone into a DIC. And then this patient was given fibroneurone, thromboplastin, and she was, of course, her life was saved. And then she developed BBF, vesico-vaginal fistula. And again she was operated for BBF, laparoscopic correction was done for her, and now at present she's all right, after full surgeries.
Madam, just a school of thought. Since all seniors are sitting here, I was currently at a complex cesarean section workshop, which was there at SIMS Indore, and maybe we'll have it in with BOGS also. They have enumerated couple of new things which I think we should incorporate in our practice. First and foremost was like what I feel from my day-to-day practice is, जब भी PPH हुआ इतना सारा blood है तो हम खोलने की थोड़ी जल्दी करते ही हैं, है ना. उनका ये कहना था एकदम से मत खोलो, टेक half an hour, take 1 hour, load her up, put everything in order and then open. And I also realized that yes, even I have lost 2 patients in medical college when we really opened them up कि नहीं अब fluid आ गया है, hemoperitoneum है, खोलना है.
And thromboplastin only she was opened up. That's why.
मैडम नहीं, अब उनका ये कहना है कि आप ट्रांसफ्यूज करो पहले. अपना अभी भी थोड़ा स्कूल ऑफ थॉट रहता है कि नहीं अपन खोलते हैं और फिर ट्रांसफ्यूज करते हैं. वो कहते हैं टेक 1 hour 2 hours over there.
Third surgery was
put her condition and optimize her condition.
Third surgery was done after everything.
हाँ, तो first optimize her, load her up, do all mechanical type of arrangements. उन्होंने हमको वहाँ पे aortic compression internal सिखाया, external aortic compression सिखाया, and it was a very wonderful workshop. So maybe BOGS we may have it together sometime. And that was a turning point which even I thought कि ठीक है, नेक्स्ट टाइम वेदर वील बी एबल टू डू इट और नॉट, क्योंकि तब तो डू एंड डाई सिचुएशन रहती है. लेकिन अगर इफ वी हैव दिस इन आवर माइंड कि टेक अ डीप ब्रेथ, do whatever best you can do for the patient and then open her up, maybe let's see what we have in future.
बहुत सारे call for help is very important in such cases.
Madam, they are not saying much about uterine artery embolization. They are not going in favor of internal iliac artery also. Now there is a new anatomical blood supply classification which is there. They have demonstrated it very well. I have the models with me. I have just recently there 15 days back. और मैडम जितना अभी हम I'll just take a minute, जितना हम इवन लेप्रोस्कोपी में भी ब्लीडिंग जो हो रही है ना, उसको हम लोग जितना इवेल्युएट कर रहे हैं, तो वो यही रियलाइज हो रहा है कि देयर आर ब्लड वेसल्स विच वी थिंक कि दे आर कमिंग फ्रॉम ब्लैडर, इवन इन प्लेसेंटा प्रीविया और प्लेसेंटा एक्रेटा स्पेक्ट्रम. उनका ये कहना है कि वो ब्लड वेसल्स वहाँ से नहीं आ रहे, रादर दे आर कमिंग फ्रॉम सर्विक्स से ऊपर आ रहे हैं. Those are the cervico-vaginal 3 vessels which are coming, 2 lateral, 1 medial, and those are the one which are creating all the trouble. और उसके बाद से जितने TLS वगैरह किए हैं उसमें मैं अपने कलीग्स को दिखा रही हूँ कि देखो ये vessels हैं जो they have named them now, we have not named them as yet, and maybe it is accepted by FIGO and it is going to be soon like there.
So that was an excellent input that Anjali madam has given us, because I remember a cesarean section workshop was done long time back in MPOX. Viraj madam was there and Madhuri Didi was there, Shraddha Didi was there. We learnt Joel Cohen technique and all that, stretching with the hand. But now I think we need another C-section workshop to tell us about the changes which have come in the last 15 years, because this is one surgery we can't escape. We'll have it. So now I think we can even discuss PIH. PIH I think is a very relevant, pertinent complication, not only in young women but also in elderlies. Do you find a difference in the pattern of hypertensive disorders of pregnancy in patients below 30 and patients above 35?
About 35, like they may be having associated other diseases like hypertension or diabetes, like all metabolic syndrome related disease. So they may be like having chronic hypertension superimposed with PIH. So it's better we should start them early, like we should start them monitoring.